Well, hi. For this video, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to start by just giving you some of the recent frustrations I've had with the Cardo PackTalk Bold. I bought a Duo set on that, and have been working with that to try to incorporate it to BRP Connect, and just continues to be a lot of frustration. I get it to connect, it works for a while, and it stops working. Very frustrating. In fact, the BRP tutorial says that when you're in, you can be in one application, for instance, Genius Maps, for instance, and then it says you're able to push the center button here, and that would allow you to switch applications. Well, that does not work, at least so far as I've been doing it. Likewise, when I'm in this case, Genius Maps, sometimes you'll click a button and it'll go into settings, and then it won't let you do a simple back out to get back to the map. And I tried all sorts of things on the fly and just could not make that work. So getting pretty frustrating. I'm going to try to reset everything back to factory settings. The Bold, it's a pretty simple project or process to reverse that back to factory settings. I'm going to see if there's the same thing with BRP Connect, and I'm going to just start all over. I have been following the BRP tutorials. I followed the Cardo tutorials. It should be a simple process, but it just doesn't seem to be taking like it should. Maybe some of it's part of my own stupidity, but it seems pretty simple when you follow the tutorials. And I found there's a 27-minute tutorial by Cardo on the internet, and then there's a shorter one that's just related to the BRP Connect. And again, just seeing a lot of ridiculous issues. I'm going to follow this with, we'll take you for a drive, and I'll tell you some of the things I've learned on my RT Limited after about 1,700 miles of road work on it so far. So hopefully this will be insightful to those who are thinking about getting a Spider, as well as those who are riding. Maybe you'll share some of my frustrations, and quite frankly, maybe you'll have some pointers and some things you've learned. So please feel free to make notes on the comments so we can all learn together. Enjoy. Well, a couple of things as I consider my rides on the Spider. First of all, it is just a great, comfortable bike. There's no doubt about that. I really enjoy that. One thing I do notice is I tend to, let's say, hold on for dear life on the grips. I think that's just something I got to get used to the way it rides. I think when I have my back rest, when it finally comes in, it's been back ordered since the 22nd, I believe, of April. When that comes in and I've got my back on something, then maybe I won't be holding so tightly with my hands on both grips. Lots of times when I go into cruise control, which really is a nice feature, the way that's set up on the Spider, then I can let loose a lot more. I think it's something I just got to do consciously. I didn't have that issue when I rode my two-wheel VTX, but I just catch myself really holding on here, gripping tightly, and that's not going to be good for a long ride. So I think part of that is me just getting used to the different feel of the three-way versus the three-wheel versus the two-wheel. And like I say, when I have the backrest, then that will take a lot of pressure off me holding on. Likewise, when you take a turn right or left, you really seem to pull hard on the steering in order to make the turn, and then especially if you're gearing up on that, you're again kind of holding on for dear life. I've got the pedal commander on, and I run it mainly in sport +1, and so the bike really takes off very nicely. So when it comes to, you really should ride with a looser grip on it, and I think part of that's just going to come with time and me getting used to the different. Maybe it's the seating position or something to that effect on that. So that's one thing I notice. One thing I've heard some people complain about is the visibility of the screens. I don't find that to be an issue. When I do have BRP Connect working, which I said earlier is somewhat hit and miss, and I use Genius Maps, I can see everything fine. The audio seems to be fine in my helmet, again, when it's working. But the the print is pretty small, so you can follow the directions and know to turn. But if you glance at the screen just to try to read a street name that it indicates, I find that I can't see that well. I can't make out that screen. It's just a little too small. But the map itself, the audio is pretty good. One thing I found at times was I thought the audio was just so low. I couldn't figure out. I had my phone turned up and things like that. But then when I increased the volume on the controls on the dash of the bike, then the sound was quite good for the audio. So that's something that I've noticed with it. The screen visibility is good. The the maps on it, you can't necessarily read the street names, but the turn and all the directions, those are fine. When needed, the heating of the seat and the grips is excellent. When I put it on, especially the seat, when I put it on the high setting, it won't be long before I'm actually feeling too much heat, and I have to either turn it off or turn it down to the lower setting. But I have not had heated seats in the past, so that has been a real blessing. I've really appreciated that on cold days, and we're getting some still cold days here in Western New York. Same thing with the grips at the highest setting. Not long before it really starts feeling too warm. Maybe hot is a better way to say it, and then I have to turn that down or turn it off. But I really find those heated grips and heated seats to be a fantastic addition. On this trip, I ended up running into some rain. I don't show you the heaviest part of it, but I got off my bike to um, put my rain suit on, and unfortunately, took my glasses off and left without them. So my glasses are left on the thruway somewhere, and I drove without my glasses, which was not fun. But when it comes to rain and the RT or the Spider in general, again, very comfortable. I wasn't bothered in this section. You don't see much rain, but I ran into a pretty good amount of rain coming down. And just with those three wheels, that's probably the same for the rear wheel drive type three wheels. Um, it's just you have a real good confidence in my on my two wheel bike. I got stuck coming back from Florida one time in Atlanta in a big downpour. I mean, just coming down buckets, and the cars around me, they didn't give a rip about me. They would pour water onto me by the way they drove by me, cut in front of me, things like that. And you just don't feel as stable when you're riding a two wheel and rain is coming down in buckets. This one, although I don't choose to ride in rain unless I get stuck in it, um, this the Spider, the three wheel Spider, it just handles beautifully in the rain, and I love that. So that's just another nice feature about that. The only thing that you run into a disadvantage of is when your visor gets too wet and you can't see. Then you better pull off and wait till it stops. But overall, I'm still very pleased with the Spider. It's got some of its little things that they didn't think through very well. But all in all, great bike, great ride. Thanks for watching.